Hey guys. I was gonna make this video tomorrow. Well, maybe I was. I don't even know if I was going to be honest. I've been trying to like make these videos like I think I told you guys about this planner like my first or second video. I have this planner, right? And for the past like 5 days, I've just I've had make video, make video, make video, make video. And so if I don't do this today, it's literally never gonna get posted. So anyway, today's topic. Um don't be judgmental. Be stoic. That's it. Be stoic. Right? Nah. No, be judgmental is the main thing, but be stoicism is like a part of that. You're gonna see. So anyway, okay, I just had like a 40-minute conversation with my mom. So you're just gonna get a jump cut, but I just spent like 20 minutes talking to her. And I made like another video. Like I was continuing the video, but I didn't want to, man. The topic, we're gonna switch the topic up now. Okay? The topic is gonna be different. I got bored of the other one. I didn't know how to expand on it. So, why are people so mean to each other? That's my question. You know, I'm gonna start off by explaining like what I witnessed today, and then I'm gonna delve into what I have this choir class, right? Usually like it's weird because in middle school like you get to decide. It's like an optional thing, like one of those extra extra classes that you do for more points or because you have a passion for it. And um in high school, choir is like a mandatory subject. It's something that you have to do for at least 1 year. I think so. I think it's like in a category, and if you don't like pick out your own schedule, they just do it for you. So I didn't pick out my schedule during middle school, right? I was a bad kid in middle school. I didn't do anything right. So, of course, I wasn't thinking about my schedule. I didn't care about that. Um, Therefore, I got stuck in choir now. Anyway, we have concerts, right? And those count as our project grade. For these concerts, we have rehearsals to practice getting onto the stage, uh, how to sing, how we're gonna line up and everything, what position we go to, all that shit. It's a rehearsal. And there's this kid. None of these people are gonna be named. Okay. There's just one kid who it's obvious. I'm just gonna be straight up. He's on the spectrum, right? And then we have this other kid, really lanky. I want to talk shit about him so bad. He's this really lanky kid with a dumbass name, and he was basically like we line up on this stage, right? It's this big ass stage, and we line up in rows. So the ones with the lowest voice, the bass. Is it bass or bass? The bass goes in the back, and then like the higher notes go in front. The higher the note, the further, the more up front you are, the more in front you are. So we're near like the back, and there's this kid who is on the spectrum, and there's this other kid like three people away from him, two people away from him, and he keeps making like fun of him. He keeps laughing at him. He keeps doing this thing where he's like pinching him, and I'm looking at him. And first of all, this guy has like no place to judge anyone, to make fun of anyone, right? It's obvious why. Okay, That jump cut, real quick, just to explain what that was. I said the kid's name, so I'm just gonna redo that section. Anyway, he has no right to be making fun of him, right? It's obvious why this kid is making fun of the guy who's on the spectrum, because the guy who's on the spectrum is more vulnerable. He's less likely to defend himself. If he wants to defend himself, it's harder for him to do that because obviously he's on the spectrum, you know. So first, just for that, this guy's a pussy, right? But he he continued, like, besides that, he's just like this little 90-pound kid. If I wanted to, I could throw him across a football field, paper thin. And I know it's like body shaming or whatever, yeah, but he my point is that he has literally no right to be making fun of this kid or to be bullying this kid. So I'm watching this happen, and I'm an idiot. Like, this is my fault, right? Because I wanted to tell him to stop, but like now in hindsight, actually in hindsight, like, it wouldn't have worked anyway. I want to what I want to do is talk to the kid on the spectrum and tell him to defend himself more, because talking to people who are like that, not the like people who make fun of people on the spectrum, it's like talking to a brick wall. Especially if they're in high school, like if they're teenagers, they don't give a fuck, bro. You tell them, hey, this is not moral. You know, this is like you have no right. Why are you doing this? Cut it out. They're if they don't laugh in your face, they're just not gonna listen to you. You know. So I see no point in that because I already know the outcome. But anyway, you know, I was watching this happen, and literally all of this happened for no reason. The kid didn't do anything. He was just sitting there like doing what he was told to do by the teacher. And he was literally just getting made fun of for something he couldn't control. Not necessarily for, but that was the reason why they're making fun of him in the first place. If he, granted, had he not been on the spectrum, had he had, what's it called, been like everyone else, they literally wouldn't have done anything to him. So I was just thinking about that throughout like my day, and you know, the same question that I put in the title of this video: why, you know, what's the point of that? If you think about it, like every not if you think about it, this should be like literally common sense. There's there's no point. You know, there's this guy named Marcus Aurelius. He was an emperor of Rome. You probably heard of him. He was also he was most famous for his thoughts on Stoicism, for what he said about Stoicism. He talks about it in his book in called Meditations. It's a book that like he made for himself. So everything you get in there is like raw. It's natural. It's no bullshit. He's not trying to trick you or anything. I highly suggest you read it. I'm reading it right now and it's really good. But anyway, he had a quote where he basically says, I'll throw it up on screen if you want to read it, but the point of the quote is that to feel anger, to feel negative emotions towards someone else is an obstruction. It's unnatural, and we shouldn't do it because we were made to work together. And I mean, he's right. You know, societies cannot function without people working together. Ok, ahora voy a terminar. Y después me lavo los dientes. Good night. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. So, societies cannot function without people working together. We cannot form politics without people working together, agreeing on what we're supposed to do, what we're gonna do. We cannot create inventions if there's not people attempting to establish systems for science, mathematics. All the achievements of mankind have been achieved through the tolerance of other people. It doesn't, even if it's not like the full acceptance, which realistically it should. We should be willing to sit here and you know accept people for who they are, and try to push them to be better. That doesn't mean let yourself go. Okay, that's different. What's happening now with people like, oh yeah, accept people as they are when they're like 300 pounds. That's no, that's not accepting people. That's letting them let themselves go. But accepting people for things they can control, like their personality traits, for actual physical traits that they cannot control. So we should be accepting, but humanity has never done that. It's always, at most, just tolerated the presence of other people. But point being, without this tolerance, nothing we have today would be possible, because everything was achieved with other people. Everything was achieved with the help and advice of people other than oneself. So it's so strange to like see people every day actively, even online, mostly online actually. People just arguing about senseless stuff that doesn't matter. People getting heated over stuff that doesn't matter. People focused on irrelevant subjects, being mean and hateful to each other, and not focusing on the actual issue. Like real world problems that need to get solved. Imagine if that same kid who I referred to earlier, instead of focusing on that other kid on the spectrum, instead of focusing on making fun of him, he was focused on how he should be meditating. He was focused on thinking about stoicism. He was focused on thinking about his finances. He was focused on thinking about improving his like getting in shape, improving his diet. Literally just the act of thinking those thoughts instead of focusing it on judging and making fun of another person puts you like 5 steps ahead of everyone else. It's crazy how literally just thinking about that on a daily basis puts you so much farther ahead than most people around you. Because most people around you, albeit they're not thinking of you, but they're not asking themselves those questions. We've gotten so used to like blaming everything else except ourselves for our situations that most people, even if they're not like judging you or making fun of you per se, they're still not thinking those thoughts. But especially if they're focused on you and they're judging you, let them. Don't even respond. Don't, like, I used to think that I was a pussy if I didn't say anything, like when I got made fun of. That's not true. That's not the real pussy is the one who gets offended and responds, because nobody's opinion should affect you unless now there's a difference between opinion and criticism, right? An opinion is something that just a person thinks of you, and that's irrelevant. You don't care what a person thinks of you. A criticism is something that you should listen, because it comes from a good place. It comes from a place that intends to help you improve. So you should take those criticisms and really listen to those criticisms. But if it's just opinion, like if it's just people making fun of you for your appearance, if they think you sound like a squeaker, if they think you are annoying, those things are like, you really should not concern yourself with those types of people or what they think, because if that's their most if when they open their mouth, that's the most like quality thought that you're gonna get. Their opinion on someone else. They're the dumbest person in that room. I swear to you, they're the, if not the dumbest, the most ignorant. So, point being, don't judge people. Don't be mean. Don't be mean to people. Don't bully them. Focus focus on yourself. That's literally it. Focus on yourself. If you focus on yourself, um, you could actually end up helping people more by getting your own experience. You know, when I started like getting into self improvement and all that, started being able to actually like give advice, like real genuine advice, and give criticisms to people like my friends because I had experience on stuff like working out and dieting and all that. But yeah, don't concern yourself with the thoughts of others. Did y'all hear that? That little throat fart? Don't concern yourself with those thoughts. I mean, with those people who think those thoughts. Take advantage. Take advantage of the fact that most people around you are focused on mentally judging others. They're focused on appearances, and that they're not thinking of advancing their life in any way, because that gets rid of like 90% of the competition. Not just in like competition, usually your first stuff in business. You know, when we talk about getting rid of the competition, talk about getting rid of other businesses, but in this aspect, literally, in this case, literally in every aspect, you can get 5 steps ahead. You can get 5, 10, 15, 20 steps ahead of everyone around you by simply redirecting those thoughts that you may have of like judging someone, redirecting them into just focusing on yourself. And the best way to do this is meditating. Meditating helps you connect with yourself, and achieve a different level of self-awareness than you can just like by consciously thinking about it every day. Um, that's about it for this video. I've said that about like 3 times now, but I don't care. I'll make a video on meditating sometime this week. I'm posting another video tomorrow. It's gonna be a lot more in depth. It's gonna be a lot better. This one I just kind of made it to get something out there because I have been slacking. It's like 12 a.m. Nobody's gonna watch this, so I'll post it tomorrow, like when I get out of school or something. But yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you have a good night.